Hello everyone and welcome back guys to episode 32, season 2, round 8 of the HAAS Road to Glory career. Where today we are finally back with this series. You know, for those of you guys that sort of kept up with the channel, you watched the Canadian Grand Prix last time out and everything like that. You know, I've taken a little bit of a break from this one just due to unforeseen circumstances is probably the best way to describe it. But happy to be getting back onto it here today, ready for the French Grand Prix. You know, really excited for this one. Obviously, if you did miss out on the Canadian Grand Prix, obviously it did go up sort of 3-4 days ago now at the time of, you know, recording this one and everything like that. I would highly recommend going back and checking that video out. And a huge thank you to obviously you guys that have stuck around as well, you know, have come back for more of the HAAS Road to Glory career. But it has been an interesting start to the season, it's safe to say. You know, we've finished the first third of the championship. You can see we have made some good progress relative to a lot of the field, but, you know, you've really got to be on it on F1 2019 if you want to try and continue on. And you can see we have got some more big upgrades ready to go on the car over the next couple of weeks, so we will be planning on trying to get even more as we head through this French Grand Prix weekend as well. So really looking forward to it. I'll be honest, I'm excited to see the progress. You know, I think now season 1 was certainly a big learning curve for us. You know, we've sort of learned what we need to focus, and it's quite clear that the major and, you know, the ultimate upgrades are really the way we need to go on this series. So I'm really going to try and focus on trying to get as many of those on the car as we possibly can at the moment. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. Like I said, we have got one major upgrade going on to the car, hopefully at the Austrian Grand Prix, and then after that as well, by the end of this weekend, we should have another one ready to go on the car for Silverstone. So yeah, really excited to see what the future holds. You know, so far season 2 has definitely been a bit of a rebuild for the HAAS Road to Glory career mode, and looking forward to, you know, season 3. Hopefully I'm not just going to keep saying this every season where, you know, the next season is meant to be the big progress step. But yeah, hopefully at the moment season 3 is really where we're looking to try and really sort of pile on the pressure to the big guns in Formula 1. You know, maybe some rule changes as well can come in and help us out as well. But yeah, excited for the future nonetheless. And as we head though into the French Grand Prix, I must admit, quite looking forward to this race. It's always nice to come back to a track that you do enjoy. But let's jump on then straight away like we always do. We're ready then for qualifying here. It's season 2, it's the French Grand Prix. Hopefully you guys are as hyped as I am.
The circuit has rubbed it in with practice, but this is still a difficult session as our drivers fight for pole position. Welcome to qualifying for the French Grand Prix. I want to talk briefly about the strategy in these qualifying sessions. Anthony Davidson, how can a driver adjust their approach to gain those critical extra tenths of a second?
Well, qualifying isn't about adjusting your approach necessarily, it's more about trying to repeat a low fuel run that you've practiced prior to this session. You're looking for perfection on the lap, and that's hard to achieve if you're trying something new. There are some variables that can stand in your way, however. Track position or unexpected yellow flags, for example. Coupled with ever-changing track conditions, it's important to be out there at the right moment. But as a driver, you have to try and ignore these distractions and just keep your mind focused on that one perfect lap.
So here we are then, ready for the French Grand Prix, and I must admit, like I said, quite looking forward to this one on the whole. And, you know, I think I've done probably 6 French Grand Prix now at this stage, maybe even 7, you know, on F1 2018 and F1 2019 combined. And every single race I seem to do around here, I just enjoy this track a little bit more. And, you know, with the new aero patch and everything like that, I am really enjoying racing around this circuit even more than I have in the past. You know, really, you know, there's a lot of stick for this track, and I think that's down to a lot of the runoff areas and things like that. But I really do quite enjoy racing around this place. You know, a lot of it's sort of high-end downforce orientated, everything like that. So yeah, really do enjoy this place so far on F1, well, on F1 2018 and F1 2019. But like we'd always do though, we go out, set the banker, and then with just 5 seconds to go at the end of the session, we will actually go out for our second run, and we are going to ride on board throughout this entire lap as we head down in towards turn 1 and turn 2. They take quite a lot of curb as we head through the first couple of corners. They're really, you know, this track very wide, you know, there is plenty of room for mistakes, and you've really got to try and utilise that to your advantage as we head into qualifying here, as we head down through Sector 1 here, really trying to use the engine brake as well, get the car stabbed in. You can see we're actually about a third of a tenth down by the end of Sector 1 there. But through Turn 6 and Turn 7 get a really, really good run as we head now up this long straightaway here. And actually having a bit of a weird sort of moment with the Delta. Not too sure what that was all about. We dropped about half a tenth on the Delta for no apparent reason there as we head down through the chicane towards, well, about halfway down the Mistral Straight here. You can see still almost 2 tenths up now as we head down in towards the second half of the lap here. And yeah, hopefully we can try to get through into Q3, sorry, Q2 even, I should say. Hulkenberg only about 2-3 tenths down on him so far on this lap. But the final sector, we were really, really losing out so much time to the AI, and I'm not too sure where. You know, we didn't really quite maximise that corner as much as I would have liked there as we head down through turn 12 and in towards the final couple of corners of the lap here. And really now starting to get a little bit scrappy, trying to get the power down as early as possible here as we head down in towards the penultimate corner there. That's been an okay run there, just missing out on the apex through the final corner, but we get a good drive out of the final turn, down towards the line. Where is it going to be? It's a 1:30.0, and it is P16 on the grid. Once again, we cannot catch a break in this series there. That is absolutely gutting once again to finish off down in Q1 there. You can see our season 1 lap time of 1:32.5, so we were again a good 2.5 seconds clear of season 1, but miss out on Q2 by just 14 thousandths of a second to Lance Stroll there. That one is really, really heartbreaking. Joined Danny Kvyat, Giovinazzi, Sebastian Vettel took the gamble on the medium compound tyres there and really couldn't make the lap work, as well as Alexander Albon there. But yeah, that was not what we wanted. But let's jump on then. It's time for the French Grand Prix.
Welcome then to the Circuit Paul Ricard, home of the French Grand Prix, home race of the Renault team, and of course a number of the drivers on the grid as well. Of the 14 races held here up until 1990, 5 were won by a Frenchman, and 4 of those, of course, were Alain Prost. I wonder who'll add their name to that winners list today. 6 lefts and 9 rights give us a total of 15 corners here at the Circuit Paul Ricard, and a lap covers an overall distance of 3.6 miles. Average speeds will be somewhere in the region of 142 miles per hour, and they'll be maxing out on the Mistral Straight at around 205 miles per hour. With the Grand Prix nearly upon us, Anthony Davidson is by my side once again to offer his perspective. Now, we probably ought to start by discussing Pierre Gasly. That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Pierre Gasly lines up on pole position, and Devon Butler lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Hamilton, Sergio Perez, and Faber, Hulkenberg, Bottas, Norris, and Max Verstappen, Stroll, Russell, Romain Grosjean, and Raikkonen, Mr. Monaco, Kvyat, Antonio Giovinazzi, and Sebastian Vettel. Albon and Carlos Sainz will start from the back of the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
We're in a better grid position than we were expecting. Let's see if we can hold on to it.
So, despite a bit of a weird qualifying session there, in the end, the team actually really, really happy with that result there. And looking on into this Grand Prix, we're actually going to go for a bit of a weird 2-stop race here. Going to go softs, mediums, softs to the end. You know, we just want to be as quick as possible throughout the entirety of this Grand Prix. But here we are then on the grid, ready for the French GP. The 5 lights are coming on now, ready for Season 2, and it is lights out. And away we go there. Clearly not too much time being wasted there as we actually get the car straight up into second gear there. Giovinazzi gets an absolute blinder of a start as we head down in towards turn 1 there, and Danny Kvyat certainly going to try and look around the outside as well. Giovinazzi just slides in front of us there, and Kvyat tries to go around the outside, a bit of contact as we head through turn 1 and turn 2 there, but nothing all too dangerous here, and everyone starts to flock to the inside as we head down in towards turn 3 there. We're going to try and capitalise on this, go around the outside, it moves to the inside of Giovinazzi here, and then we're going to try and have a look around the outside of Lance Stroll and Kimi Raikkonen there. We get the nose around the outside there, and well, 3 wide through the next couple of corners there, and somehow on the outside we come out on top there, up to P13 of the Grand Prix. I'm really, really happy. You know, not too sure how we managed to make that one work, but you know, we will definitely take it here as now George Russell and my teammate Romain Grosjean are trying to apply the pressure as we head down in towards the chicane here. And yeah, just catching each other out there in towards the braking zone. And that's going to give us yet another opportunity to capitalise there right around the outside of George Russell there. And well, that's Grosjean up from P13 to P11 and myself up from P16 to P12 in the Grand Prix there. So once again, the HAAS really having a good start there. But Grosjean tries to slam the door shut as we head through the next couple of corners here. Well, George Russell almost goes for a bump and run as we head down in towards the final few corners of the lap there. Not too sure what that one was all about by the Williams man there as we head through turn 12 and turn 13 there. But yeah, we do hold on to P12 of this race off the start there. So a good solid start to this Grand Prix. You know, we really had to go aggressive off the start of this race. You know, if we want to try and make this strategy work, yeah, we really do need to try and push on in the early stages here. You know, this is going to be absolutely critical because, you know, most of the AI, it looks like they're going to try and go for the one-stop race. We, obviously, on the two-stop, really did need to try and get past as many of the medium compound runners as we possibly could. And, you know, lap 1, we made good progress on that, and now we've been trying to close up on my teammate Romain Grosjean once again here as we head now down in towards lap 2 here. And really just trying to capitalise, take as much curb as you possibly can through these corners here. You know, we really can try to utilise this as best as possible here. Try to use the engine brake there as we now come out on towards the back straightaway here. And I don't think, you know, there's going to be too much that Grosjean can really try and do against myself in defence. You know, we're not running too high wings this time around there. Grosjean plays it a little bit defensive up this back straightaway here. Are we going to get some team orders involved once again here? No, we do not there. Grosjean, though, just that little bit of reduced grip on those medium compound tyres here. And we do get round the outside and now up into P11 of this Grand Prix here. And yeah, really happy with that one. We have made good progress in the opening lap and a half here of this race. But now we've got Max Verstappen a good 2.5 seconds up the road already in this race and on a set of the soft compound tyres as well here. So it's really going to be a tough test to see if we can try to close down on these guys as well here as in towards the final couple of corners. Really, this track is so weird for curbs. Some of them you've really got to try and tackle. Others you want to try and get as close to but not hit, you know, whatsoever here. It's really strange. You know, you've got to try and get into a rhythm as quickly as possible here. At the end of lap 3, start of lap 4, you can see we have been taking some time out of Max Verstappen as well as the rest of, you know, the lower half of the top 10. But, you know, the pace, consistency, everything like that, it was going to be so difficult to try and match these guys because effectively, you know, the only sort of real advantage we had was just the fact we hadn't had to do qualifying on this set of tyres here. And, well, you can see by the end of lap 5 here as the next few laps sort of wind away, the gap just started to open up once again. You know, we really had tried to, you know, push on these tyres, and, well, they were really starting to fight back now as we head onto lap 6 there. We had pulled out a good gap, though, over the guys behind me here as to the end of lap 6 we go, and you can see diving in for our first pit stop of the day. We hadn't quite been able to get this set of the tyres as far as I would have liked to, but still not too bad. 6 laps on them. Only sort of need about 13 laps on a set of the medium compound tyres here, and that would be the main focus throughout, you know, stint 2 of this race. Would just all be about trying to make sure that we capitalised and kept these tyres in good working order here. Try and settle down into a rhythm here because, you know, this whole race was, you know, the game was for it to, you know, really come back in my favour right towards the very end here as we head out of the pit lane once again here. And yeah, 13 laps on a set of the medium compound tyres is certainly no easy feat, but certainly nothing out of the possibility as well here as we head now through the first couple of corners. And, well, the end of lap 8, Giovinazzi now would actually dive into the pit lane as well here. Quite surprised to see the AI really starting to make some very early pit stops here, as well as Lando Norris, one of the first drivers, you know, from the pack ahead of me in this race, diving into a set of the medium compound as well here. No, sorry, the hard compound even. So these guys really do want to try and go long in this race here. And, well, we would have a few sort of quiet laps here, just really trying to settle down into a rhythm, you know, see short shifting out of the final couple of corners here. And we would slowly but surely be cycling our way back up through the order here. And you can see visually the gap to Lando Norris really hasn't changed much over these last few laps here, but he is on a set of the hard compound tyres here, so we really do need to try and crack on in this Grand Prix, you know, if we want to try and get ourselves up in towards a points paying position in the latter stages of this race here. And yeah, really trying to push on and focus on this pace here as we head out of the final corner, pretty much at the halfway stage now of this race, and the AI now start to make their first pit stop of the day here. So we are going to now move ourselves back up into P11 here, but sadly there had been one driver that I'd forgot about in this Grand Prix, and that would be Sebastian Vettel in that Ferrari car, obviously way further down the order than he would have liked in the opening half of this Grand Prix. And well, he'd finally been able to sort of, shuffle his way through, the slower traffic in this race. Formula 1.5, as we like to call it on F1 2019. There is such a big divide still between, ourselves, McLaren, Alfa Romeo, and Toro Rosso, and, the rest of the field here. And yeah, it wouldn't take long before Sebastian was now all over the back of us. As onto lap 16, you can see Sebastian now really, really trying to apply the pressure here. And well, there's not really going to be much I think we're going to be able to do in this race. But you can see once again that we have really visually closed down that gap to Lando Norris here as we head through, sector 2 of lap 16 here. But I think, sadly, we're going to be focusing on our mirrors before we focus up the road in this race. Sebastian Vettel, there's not really much we're going to be able to do in defence anyway in this race here. You can see Sebastian all in the slipstream. And, well, I thought he'd actually go for a move up the inside in towards the chicane here. But, yes, clearly not going for that one just yet here. But I don't think, we're not really going to try and defend this one. There's really going to be nothing we can do in this race. We've, got nothing, no sort of advantage, nothing we can try to cling on to in this race, apart from track position at this stage of the day. But in towards turn 10, though, yeah, nothing we're going to be able to do there. Seb goes up the inside. Not such a fan of the brake check, in all honesty. We just completely gave him the move there, and he still opts to go for that sort of strategy on myself there. But yeah, we now move back down into P12 of this race. And it wouldn't be too long, obviously, before as well we'd be diving in for our second pit stop of this Grand Prix. As well here, out of the final couple of corners there, you can see, yeah, diving in. End of lap 19, we had a 7-lap stint to go on this set of the soft compound tyres here. And yeah, unfortunately, I'll hold my hands up and admit, it was a bit of a bot strategy at the end of the day. I don't think, realistically, unless we got really lucky with, sort of 2-3 drivers inside the top 10 retiring anyway in this race, the pace of, Seb and George Russell behind us was really going to be, tough to combat in the second half of the Grand Prix nonetheless here. And I was struggling with the tyres anyway, so I think, we were probably a bit doomed from the get-go, unfortunately, in this Grand Prix. And I think the only sort of positive we can take away here is hopefully we can try and capitalise, have a bit of fun in these final couple of laps of this Grand Prix here. But yeah, it was really not going to be a race that we can try and capitalise all too much on anyway at the end of the day. The end of lap 21, though, we do get a little bit of positives in this race. Set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix there by a good few tenths over Sergio Perez. But yeah, that would be, a very, very small positive in this Grand Prix, especially as, outside of the top 10, we're not even going to be able to claim the fastest lap point here as well in this race. But end of lap 22, though, we were now finally closing up to Giovinazzi and I think my teammate Romain Grosjean in this Grand Prix. But the yellow flags are now out, and once again, this championship, one that we are certainly not involved in by any stretch of the imagination, but still, the fight at the top is going to take another dramatic turn here in this Grand Prix, and Lewis Hamilton is actually going to drop out of this French Grand Prix with just a couple of laps to go of this race, though. So, I mean, yeah, like I said, nothing that's really going to affect me too much in the long run here, but still, it's going to be an extra place, a freebie in this Grand Prix here as we now head out onto the back straight here, just 4 laps to go of this Grand Prix. And Giovinazzi, I have no idea what this Alfa Romeo car is running in this race there. The yellow flag's right, but look at the run. He's going to be able to get on my teammate Romain Grosjean there. Grosjean, though, slams the door shut there very, very late as we head in towards the chicane here. We're going to try and get the run on the pair of them here, but just over the bump, we lose the rear end ever so slightly there, get a bit of wheel spin, and don't really try to fight it all too much, try and use, the huge amounts of runoff area around this place there. But Giovinazzi up the inside as we head in towards turn 10 and turn 11 here. And yeah, nothing really Grosjean's going to be able to do. We're going to try and follow Giovinazzi up the inside there. A bit of wheel-to-wheel contact there as Grosjean wasn't really expecting myself to go for that move. He holds it around the outside here as we head now down in towards the final couple of corners here. And yeah, we really do need to try and get past these guys as quickly as possible here in towards the final couple of corners there, running very, very deep, but we do hold the momentum around the outside of my teammate Romain Grosjean there. Lock up, hang him out to dry as we head in towards the final couple of corners there. And yeah, now we move ourselves up into P15 once again of this Grand Prix. Now we're trying to close up to Giovinazzi as well here in towards turn 1. Gio plays it defensive here. Are we going to be able to try and capitalise on the exit of the corner there? We get good drive off the exit, a huge bit of a tank slapper there as the back end tries to get past the front there as we head down in towards turn 3 and turn 4 there. Are we going to be able to get the nose up the inside? Giovinazzi just spots us there up the inside, and yeah, oh, a bit of contact there. I wasn't expecting Gio to keep it up the inside as we send him around. The virtual safety car has been deployed. I don't think that's really going to affect too much in this Grand Prix. Yeah, apologies to Giovinazzi there. I was honestly just expecting him to back out of that one there. But I mean, that's worked out for Grosjean as well as myself. I must be honest, I was a bit worried, Giovinazzi, that momentum that you've been able to get on Grosjean there, you would have probably been able to get on myself as well there. But yeah, really, I'll hold my hands up and apologise to Giovinazzi as well there. I really wasn't expecting him to try and hold the nose up the inside there. I thought, the move was done and he would bail out. And, a lot of you guys have sort of said that as well in this series. It's always a bit more 50-50 on F1 2019, especially with how much more aggressive the AI can be with the driver. The fact that, the AI try and keep the nose in as well. Sometimes, it is their fault. I know some of you guys have said that in the past as well here. But lap 27 though, Sergio Perez, finally the Mexican getting the rub of the green in this championship, and he will finally, after 8-9 years in Formula 1, would come through for his very first Grand Prix victory. We'd seen Nico Hülkenberg, another, veteran now really of Formula 1, sat in the midfield teams pretty much his entire career, but still, been around since sort of the early 2010s here. And Sergio Perez is now a Formula 1 race winner here. I'm sure the Force India team, the Racing Point, they're really happy with that one there as we head down in towards the final couple of corners of this Grand Prix. And yeah, really happy with that one at the end of the day there. Sadly, though, the move on Giovinazzi would be the final piece of action we get in this race. They're out of the final corner. It's P14 at the end of the Grand Prix. I'm losing my voice once again there, but yeah, happy with that result. Happy that we survived at the end of the day.
Take care of the car on the way in.
A victory for Racing Point. The team will certainly be celebrating tonight. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today and the results speak for themselves.
Racing Point's performance today has shown that they can be competitive with the veterans of the sport. They're making their way out to the podium now as we speak, and the reaction from the crowd must be incredibly uplifting for them. Let's have a quick look at how the driver standings have changed. It wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
I have to say Sebastian Vettel certainly caught my eye during today's race. Incredible driving.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Our championship leaders retain their position, but their lead is shrinking. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula 1.
So having a look then at the final race results there, and Sergio Perez, it has taken a long time there, but he is finally a Formula 1 Grand Prix winner there. Devon Butler comes through for another podium in this championship. I'm sure he's very happy with that one, and Charles Leclerc in P3 there, ahead of Weber, Hülkenberg, Gasly, Bottas, Verstappen, Vettel and Lando Norris there rounds out the point scorers. Vettel having a good recovery drive at the end of the day there. But I think that's what our 5th race winner in so far this championship. I think obviously both Racing Points have now won. Both Mercedes have now won. I think, have both Ferraris won just yet? I'm not 100% sure. In all honesty, I'll have to have a look at that one before we move into the next couple of Grand Prix. But I think, at least sort of 5 winners so far in the opening 8 races of this World Championship. And in the Drivers' World Championship, though, Hamilton still holds firm despite that retirement there. Gasly really couldn't capitalise in this Grand Prix there. Charles Leclerc jumps past Sebastian Vettel there, and Sergio Perez obviously moving up the order as well, right onto the coattails once again of Devon Butler and Nico Hülkenberg there, jumping Weber, Norris and Max Verstappen inside the top 10. And no changes in the Constructors' Championship, just, Racing Point move, with Renault as well, further and further away from Red Bull as Williams now trying to get up into P5 of this Drivers' World Championship. But that'll do us then for the French Grand Prix. Thank you all so much for these guys, that have made it this far in the video, as well as sticking around, obviously, over the short hiatus. But we will hopefully be back tomorrow, ready for the Austrian Grand Prix.